Now, viewers, we are learning a day after U.S. President Donald Trump imposed sanctions on two Russian oil companies over Ukraine. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin remains defiant, viewers. Putin has now derided the sanction as a quote-unquote unfriendly act by the U.S., saying they would not significantly affect the Russian economy and also throws Russia's importance to the global market. So there, Putin being defiant, saying that the sanction will not affect Russia in total, it will also affect the global market. Now, we are also learning that Putin has also warned a sharp supply drop would push up prices and be uncomfortable for countries like the United States. So there, Putin definitely throwing his weight on the United States. He is defiant after U.S. imposed sanctions on two oil companies just yesterday and today. I have my colleague Srinjoy joining us live on the broadcast. Now, basically here, a day after Donald Trump issued sanction on two Russian oil companies, now Putin saying that this is an unfriendly act. How should we view this? Will there be a face-off between Moscow and Washington in the near future? Can we expect?
Well, first of all, it is naturally an unfriendly act if you impose sanctions on two oil companies. And oil is such a significant product for Russia. But the important point is it going to change the war? Is it going to affect Russia? Is it going to economically hurt Russia? These are questions that come up. And first of all, Putin is saying that it will not affect Russia, it will not affect the Russian economy, and therefore the war will go on. Now, what can Trump do? The one thing that was looked at very seriously by the U.S. administration was sending Tomahawk cruise missiles to the Ukrainians. Now, these cruise missiles have a range of about 2,000 kilometers plus, and therefore they would be in a position, the Ukrainians would be in a position to hit Russian cities or targets deep inside Russia. Now, that hasn't happened as yet. If that were to happen, it would actually be a significant step. Now, this is something that is being dismissed by Putin as insignificant. But naturally, ties between Trump and Putin, sometimes they seem to be good friends, and sometimes it appears that they are not very good friends. And this is one of those moments. This is a moment that takes Putin and Trump very far away from the Alaska summit. It also must be remembered that at this point, that summit in Budapest that was supposed to have happened is not happening.
That's right, Srinjoy. Do stay with us because we have another breaking update coming and is this hour. Now, viewers, we are learning on Russian President Putin's reported statement, which we were just breaking for you right now, that where he was saying that U.S. sanctions won't impact the Russian economy. Now, we have a reaction from U.S. President Donald Trump, where he's saying, and I quote, that I'm glad he feels that way. He's mentioning Putin here. He says that I'll let you know about it in 6 months from now. Let's see how it all works out. So definitely fireworks between Moscow and Washington already brewing. Let's first listen into U.S. President Donald Trump before I bring in my colleague Srinjoy on the broadcast.
President Putin basically said today that Russia is immune from U.S. sanctions. He said that it would not impact the Russian economy in any serious way. Is he wrong?
I'm glad he feels that way. That's good. I'll let you know about it in 6 months from now. Okay, let's see how it all works out.
So, Srinjoy, there you heard U.S. President Donald Trump saying that let's see how it all works out. So already the fireworks between Moscow and Washington is sparking. But my question is, will these sanctions really hurt Russia? Or will it backfire on the U.S. and its allies?
Well, first of all, the Russians say it's not going to hurt. The basic point is this: will these sanctions force Russia's hand? Will these sanctions force Russia to go to the negotiating table? At this point, they don't seem to be hurting. But as the president said, let's wait for 6 months. 6 months is a long time if you're fighting a war. So let's not forget that this war has lasted already almost 3 years. Another 6 months is a significant period of time. Another 180, 185 days. It's a long time. So we have to see what happens in the next few weeks, if not 6 months. But the important thing is to check, is to find out how these affect the Russian economy, these sanctions. And if it does, will it change the war?
That's right. Only time will tell, will the Ukraine war end or not. But first, before we move to the next breaking news, viewers, once again, listening to U.S. President Donald Trump, what he had to say about the Russian President Putin.
President Putin basically said today that Russia is immune from U.S. sanctions. He said that it would not impact the Russian economy in any serious way. Is he
good.
wrong?
I'm glad he feels that way. That's good. I'll let you know about it in 6 months from now. Okay, let's see how it all works out.
So viewers, as I was mentioning, that the fireworks between Washington and Moscow is already sparking. Now, one hand, you have Russian President Putin, who is saying that the sanctions put on Moscow will not exactly impact Russia, but also will hike the oil prices across the globe. And on the other hand, you have Trump, who is saying that we'll wait for 6 months and then we will let you know. So there's no quick end to the Ukraine war as of now, but we will continue